Judge Jim Griffith, who is a family court judge in Oneida County. Good morning.
Morning, Bill.
So pull that nice and tight if you could
okay.
to you, and you almost knocked his teeth out there, Joe. Wow. You all right, Judge?
Yes, that's okay.
The court case.
All right.
I know some lawyers.
Yeah, yes, you do. All right, let's talk about you're running for re-election in Oneida County Family Court, and of course this is a very busy court.
Well, it is. I think among the family court judges we have about 8,000 dockets per year, and then the support judges, we call support magistrates, they have probably almost that many. That's exaggerates a little bit the number of cases, but we don't sit around drinking coffee very much.
No, it certainly is busy. So why are you running for re-election? Why should people vote for you for family court?
Well, I'll tell you, the issue that really keeps me going is I'm trying to do what I can to deal with the opioid crisis. I started a number of years ago a family drug treatment court, and tried to help out kids whose parents are addicts or alcoholics, and it's been I think quite a success. There's a criminal drug court, which I think is also a big success in our community, but in the family court it's a little more complicated. We're trying to figure out whether the parents can get well enough so that they can take care of their kids, and a lot of them do. And
has the opioid crisis, which is what we just keep calling it, it just kind of flows. It is a crisis, though. We kind of forget about it. After you say it, you become desensitized, I think. But has that taken over the family court system? Is it that predominant right now?
Well,
and if so, are we talking about grandparents that are now raising children?
Well, yeah, I heard a little aphorism the other day that raise your kids and enjoy your grandchildren, or enjoy your kids and raise your grandchildren.
Yeah.
But there's a statistic, I've forgotten the exact number, but it's estimated that over half the cases in family court involve some serious drug or alcohol problem.
Yeah.
One of the challenges that we have as judges and in the court system is really identifying that. You often don't know that until towards the end of the case.
Right.
And so there's been a lot of effort to do sort of force the screening early in the case, because if there is a serious drug or alcohol problem, we're never going to make safe home for kids until we deal with it.
Yeah. I want to ask you, back some years ago, it was always the big topic, father's rights. A father does not get the same opportunity in family court as the mother does. That has changed over the years. Do you agree with that?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when family court judges observed something called the tender years doctrine, which was that young children should be with mothers, presumptively be with mothers unless they were unfit.
Right.
And I think that the culture has changed. The judges have changed. I hear that complaint from time to time.
Yeah.
I also hear the complaint that the judges are too tough on women. So I think we're maybe getting it just about right.
It's kind of like being in radio. Both sides are calling you names, and chances are you did it right. It was correct. Shared parenting, is that big today?
Yes, it's complicated. I think the idea of in your sort of garden variety custody cases is to maximize the amount of time the children are with a parent. They have different kind of working schedules, and if one parent works 50 hours a week and the other one works 20 hours a week, well, one that works 20 hours a week probably should have somewhat more time with the child. The other problem with shared parenting is it requires parents to sort of get along, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. In family court, unfortunately, we got a funny perspective because we see the ones that don't.
Right.
But I think that's an idea that is prevalent, at least among the judges.
I'll leave with this. And I spent my own time in family court over the years, and had somebody asking me questions. I'm the last person you want to ask for advice, but they were. My advice was, work out a deal between you and your wife, because you get to control that and present it to the judge, versus having you have to come up with a decision. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, and after a battle royal, part of the pitch I make to people during the process is say, look, you two can figure out something if you both are prepared to compromise on what you'd like, and you're going to come up with something better than I will after I hear the two of you yelling at each other in court. So, and by the way, most cases do resolve themselves with agreement. Most custody cases do.
It's better for the kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, couldn't be more important. And one of the problems we have is there are a sort of a subgroup of cases that are just constantly back every 4 or 5 months. And that puts the kids in a terrible position, because it's always a war, and kids don't do well in wars.
They do not. Jim Griffith, Judge Griffith, thank you so much.
Well,
best
pleasure's
of luck,
mine.
and we'll maybe do this again.
Very good.
All
I
right.
look forward to it.
Election day is just around the corner.